Nelma, Aquaba. Greetings to my YouTube subscribers. And that was a greeting, hopefully I got it right, in Ghanaian and in Nigerian. Comment below how well I did, guys, because yesterday I did a Jamaica 11, and as promised I'm going to be doing a Chelsea African 11. But before I get into the video, guys, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified every time we make a video. So I'd like to welcome my African brothers and sisters and everyone else who subscribes to this channel as well, because I'm doing a series where I'll be doing a all-time 11 of players from different nationalities. So I started with my homeland Jamaica yesterday, and I'm going further back into my roots to name an African 11 for Chelsea. So I hope you enjoy this video. So the first in goal, I'm hoping next season it'll be different, that we can get Onana, and it'll be a stellar team if we can get Onana in. But Onana can't be in, obviously, because he's not a Chelsea player at the moment. So scratching around looking for a Chelsea goalkeeper, and I've got one with Nicholas Ty. Some of people may not have heard about him because he hasn't played in the first team yet. He plays in our youth setup. He's a guy we brought in from France, and he's actually he's pledged his allegiance to the Ivory Coast, and he was actually included in the last Africans of Nations squad, but he had to pull out because of injury. So hoping to see big things from this guy, 6'4", I think, commanding goalkeeper, and if his career progresses, you may hear about him later on in years to come. So Ty gets it as our goalkeeper. So moving on now to the back line. Right back, Victor Moses. Victor Moses started off his career as a winger, but as you know, when Conte came, it really rejuvenated his career. That's when Conte turned him into a wing-back, and as a wing-back he was very successful for Chelsea. He had his, because we used to loan him out a lot, he never actually got a chance. Conte gave him that chance he wanted for, and he never let us down in those 2 seasons that he played under Conte. He was part of our our Premier League winning side, and the year after he picked up an FA Cup. But you know, with managers and styles, when Sarri came in, he didn't really give him a chance, loaned him out, and now he's at Inter Milan on another loan spell. So left back now, there was a choice. It's a battle of the Babas, because we had Baba Yara and Baba Rahman, and Baba Yara actually was our first ever African player, bought by Ruud Gullit at the time. He was playing in the Dutch league. I can't remember which team he was playing for in Holland, but we bought him. So first African player to represent Chelsea. Actually, he wasn't the first African player to represent Chelsea. I wonder if anyone can tell me who the first African player to represent Chelsea was. He was the first black African player to represent Chelsea, and he came in as we bought him as a 17-year-old, I believe, and he was really good for us, actually, picking up FA Cups and picked up a few other medals for us as well. And he was also known for that celebration, that somersault celebration. I think he was the first one to bring it to the Premier League, actually. But I feel sad for Baba Yara, actually, because the last I heard about him is that unfortunately he's bankrupt. A friend of mine bought a house, actually, that somebody purchased from Baba Yara, and that's when I first heard about him being bankrupt. I hope he's got back on a financial kill, but anyone know about Baba Yara, let me know. But yeah, he was someone I enjoyed watching under the Gullit era. So Baba Yara gets it ahead of Baba Rahman. Baba Rahman came in from Germany at the time. He had one season for us where he did some good things, a bit shaky at the back, but I think that had he played a bit more and had built up his confidence, then we may have seen a lot more out of him. But he only, as I said, he's not only had one season, so he can't really be in the side. Centre halves. The way that I'm doing this is that you have to have played for your national team or eligible to play for a national team. So I can't include people like Desailly, because people like Desailly, although born in Ghana, he played for France a lot. So I have to put Amuru ahead of him, actually, because although Amuru's never ever played for Chelsea, he was on Chelsea's books at the time that he was a Nigerian international. So that's why I put him ahead. So he was another one of Chelsea's buy to loan army. So we've loaned him out to about 4 clubs, and then Legans in Spain he was loaned out to them last season, and he's gone on a permanent. And the other centre half I'm going to put in is Gueye. So Gueye's played once for us. He featured in the League Cup. Did he play in a league game as well towards the end of the season? Came as a sub. He may have done. But the reason I'm picking Gueye, although he's played for the England under-17s, he never played a senior match, so he's eligible to play for the Ivory Coast, so he can still, like Nicholas Ty's done, he can still pledge his allegiance to the Ivory Coast. That's why he's coming in as my other centre-back. In the midfield now, I'm putting in Jeremy. Jeremy was, when Roman Abramovich came, he was one of the players who came in that revolution when we were buying up all these players, and Jeremy was bought by Ranieri at the time because he was seen as Mr. Consistent. You know, he's not one of these flair players, but what he did give you, even in a Chelsea shirt, he'll give you 7 out of 10 performances week in, week out. Known for a wicked free kick as well, and you knew that he was a steady influence on that right hand side, whether he was playing as a right back or as a right midfielder. You knew what you were going to get from Jeremy. Quiet, unassuming, but always did the job. The other one is one of my all-time favourites, Michael Essien, who I thought was one of the best midfielders to ever don a Chelsea shirt. This guy was a leader. He had everything. He was so composed in midfield. We've done a lot to get him from Lyon, because at the time, Alous is quite a difficult owner to deal with. He kept putting the price up and up and up, but we were persistent in our purchase for him because we knew what a player he was. And Alous did say that one day he'll win the Ballon d'Or, and he could have won the Ballon d'Or but for injuries. He had a serious knee injury. He never came back the same player. I think had he not had that injury, he was a superstar already, but he would have been even better for us. Who can forget that goal he scored against Arsenal? At the time, we had a proud unbeaten record. Arsenal were 3 minutes away from breaking that. But what he did, he scored that goal. You could see it in the crowd where this guy actually ducked because he thought the ball was coming to him, but the ball swerved in to the net at the last minute. Fantastic servant. He even scored that goal against Barcelona that day where we were robbed by Overbo, that fantastic volley. So not only did he score good goals, but he was versatile as well. He could play. We played him at centre back once. He could play at right back. He could play anywhere on the pitch. And that guy, I run out of superlatives for him, but he was fantastic. Obi Mikel, other midfielder, again steady, divided a lot of the fan base because a lot of people didn't think that he had enough flair, because we bought him as a flair player. Jose Mourinho turned him into this defensive midfielder. A lot of Nigerians were saying that he should have been more of an attacking minded midfielder, but he did well in that holding midfielder role, and very much undervalued, as I said, by the fan base. I remember standout performance was in the Champions League final, where he was superb in that match, didn't put a foot wrong. The fact that he played under 4 or 5 different managers and they all put him in the side speaks volumes for him. He's won everything there is to win at Chelsea, all the trophies available in domestic and in Europe. So Obi Mikel definitely has to get a spot in the midfield. So moving on, it's a 4-3-3 formation that I'm using. So attack is a lot more difficult because we've had some fantastic African attackers to have played for Chelsea. But the way I'm going to be doing it is not necessarily it was the best African footballers to play for Chelsea, but the ones who contributed the most to Chelsea whilst playing for them. That's why I can't include Mo Salah, a fantastic Egyptian, because he didn't really perform that well at Chelsea. He only played a handful of games while he was with us. He's more excelled when he moved on to Roma and then to Liverpool. So with that in mind, I have to pick this guy, Solomon Kalou. Solomon Kalou played many years for us. He was in and out of the side, but never let us down when he was in the side. Some of the Boo Boys used to get on his case at times, but another one I think was undervalued for us. Always did a job, came up with some vital goals. One that comes to mind is the one against Watford, I think, where he scored that last minute goal. There was another one against Tottenham in the FA Cup when we were struggling. He scored one of the goals to get us back into the game. And there's other moments from Mikel. He was part of our Champions League winning side as well, so that cannot be overlooked. He's won numerous Premier League titles with us, FA Cups as well, so for that reason he gets a spot as one of the three up front. The second one is a bit more tricky, this one, because we've had Etu and George Weah both played for us. Both of them were past their prime when they came, but they were still fantastic players for us. Etu had one season, I remember that hat-trick he scored
Against Manchester United.
Fantastic hat-trick, perfect hat-trick, right foot, left foot header, maybe. Well, I'm thinking of Hasselbaink, but I think it may have been right foot, left foot header actually. I'll have to go back and check that one. And we've had George Weah, who played half a season. He came under Vialli, and I saw him actually on his debut against Tottenham. He scored in that goal, and his movement was just incredible. I've never seen, if you've ever seen that guy live, you see the way he moves and gets into space. It's just fantastic. So even at his ripe old age, when he came to us, you could still see that he was a class player. So difficult one, as I said, because we had Etu for a season, George Weah for half a season, but I'm going for George Weah simply because he won the FA Cup whilst he was at Chelsea. The season that Etu had for us, we didn't win anything that season, so I am putting George Weah in just ahead of Etu, but it was really close run decision. But yeah, so sorry, Etu, George Weah just pips you to the post. And last but by very no means least, it's the king, the governor, the main man, Didier Drogba, one of the all-time greats of Chelsea. This guy, what more can I say about him? He was the scorer of important goals. Whenever we were playing in a semi-final or a final, this guy showed up. He turned up. Whenever we were playing in Champions League matches where we needed a result, I can remember against Barcelona, the goals he scored against Liverpool, the numerous goals against Arsenal. Arsenal were glad to see the back of him because he just used to score against. They used to be his toy. He used to treat them as his little plaything. His first season he came here, the fans got on his back a bit, and that's why I keep saying, guys, you need to be patient with people like Tammy Abraham, because when Drogba first came, he had he contributed, but he didn't really have a standout season, but he just kicked on and he went from strength to strength to strength, and he won the lot. I don't think he was here for our Europa League. Apart from the Europa League, he won every single other trophy which was going. Guy was a leader as well. He was immense, and we've never been the same up front. Costa came close when he was there, but we've never kind of really replaced his presence up front. And yeah, the king of Africa for me, Didier Drogba, when he was in the Chelsea. So I'm not saying that he was better than George Weah or Etu at their prime, but for Chelsea, he was the top man, the main man. So that's it, guys. That's my team. That's my African 11. Do you disagree with any of the players that I've got in the team? We have had a few more players to pick from than I did when I did my Jamaica 11. But still, this team, I think, could do good things. I think probably at the back is the only place where they're a bit iffy for me. But from midfield to attack, that is quality. And they can challenge for the league in any season. So what do you think, guys? Just comment below if I've missed anyone. And the question I posed for you at the beginning of this video: who is the first African player to have played for Chelsea? Please comment below and I'll see if you got it right. So don't forget, guys, to keep safe, wash your hands, keep that blue flag flying high, and until the next time, all my African brothers and sisters, peace out.